Hey, what's up guys, it's Oakley and we're going to be diving headlong into a very interesting interview. This is conducted by the TSA, not the one you're thinking. This is actually the 6th Axis. I'll link them below. Go ahead and read the full article, give them your support. In any case, it's going to be them interviewing both Al Vickham and Andy Hall. Andy Hall is a lead writer who Total War brought on, but previously he worked at Games Workshop for I think 10-15 years, so definitely a veteran. So they're going to have a bunch of different information. We're going to cover little excerpts here. So the first one is going to be covering the Winds of Magic. We already knew most of the stuff. The only thing that stands out here is that magical abilities here. Some of these spells have ranges as well. That goes to indicate that perhaps some of the more powerful spells you have to get closer. We've seen that, never seen the range before, but it also seems to indicate that some spells don't have range and maybe you can snipe abilities onto people. That's interesting. The next one is going to be talking about agents. We already knew that they can join armies, but now we know that they can buff up armies, and that makes sense because of the skill trees that were revealed the other day at EGX, namely that you have 3 skill trees for most of your characters: strategic, tactical, and battle. Presumably the strategic and tactical skill trees will allow you to then provide buffs for your army. So there you have it. The next big part is what we're going to be tackling. This is going to be what they start to speak about here, which is going to be the main design pillar for Total War Warhammer, is to have a lot of narrative to bring the world of Warhammer Fantasy to life. And the way they're going to do this is through quest battles. And this is going to be the meat of this video of what we're getting into. And it all stems from this one quote that's going to be coming out of here. So most of the battles we've been, exposed to before were these pitched battles. Look at this quote. They're not necessarily just a pitched battle. So they could be that you've got to hold on while a dragon is summoned, that you fight near a creature's lair, or chase a vampire through a fence. So that in and of itself is amazing. The quest battles were cool. I mean, at the end of the day, it's basically a historical battle tied to the campaign. That's cool. But now they're pushing it even further to the point where it's not just a pitched battle. Let's go over the first scenario. You've got to hold on while a dragon is summoned. What that implies to me is maybe they could do the dumbest version of that, which is just, you go into a battle and there's a timer that pops up, 5 minutes until the dragon arrives, and then the battle ends. Alternatively, they could turn it where maybe you have to secure a position on the battlefield, hold that to summon the dragon, and the dragon controlled by the AI flies in and helps you win the battle. That's how they could potentially blow that out. The next one is you fight near a creature's lair. So in the background you see I've put the release map of the Total War Warhammer campaign map. And what I'm thinking is you'll have different parts of the battle, or of the campaign map, that are more barren, that are ringed with these big creatures. Now, maybe a quest is you have to go slay a creature. And that makes a lot of sense if you think about Ungrim Iron Fist, the secondary dwarf legendary character that they already explicitly said has a duality between ruling as a king and being a slayer, where he himself, as a slayer, wants to go out and tackle the biggest, baddest enemies. So that's what I see this quest alluding to, is the fact that maybe you have quests to go kill monsters. Because why else would you fight near a creature's lair if you're not going to see that creature? Is it just for cinematic effects? Are you just going to see a big grotto, a big hole in the wall for a creature lives in there, but not see that creature? So maybe you'll have quests to actually go tackle these big creatures with big health. And then in that case, are you limited to bringing just your general? Can you bring an entire army? Those are the questions I want to have answered. The last one is you chase a vampire through a fen. So perhaps, a scripted path for that vampire count to run away from you. You chase him down, you have to capture him or kill him before he leaves the battlefield. So a lot they can do with that. They next talk a bit about more specifics. So doing all these different quests will get you various unlocks. So for example, they say here for Karl Franz, you might unlock the Rune Fang of Reichland in one battle, or the Galmaraz if you beat the Blackfire Pass. That's stuff we already knew. And then at the bottom, they reaffirm that some of these quest battles will be tough, but you can redo the quest battles multiple times. Here's another bit of information that they talk about where you don't necessarily have to pursue certain quests. You can wait for them. So for example, here you say, fuck it, I'm not going to unite the Empire. You might head straight for Archon. And I might be mispronouncing that name, but anyways, I went and again looked it up on Lexiconum. Very handy for getting used to the Warhammer lore. And this guy is the Lord of the End Times. He's the ever-chosen of Chaos, the supreme champion of the 4 Chaos gods. So that in and of itself confirms that we're going to be seeing chaos in the game, and that you can perhaps interact with it diplomatically. Perhaps you have quests to go fight chaos. So that is really, really, really interesting. They're keeping their cards close to their chest, but we're starting to get more and more revealed. Anyways, there's additional information in this interview that I didn't share with you, so go ahead and check the link below for more details. I will be covering some of that information in future videos, so stay tuned for that. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned for more. Like I always said, see you next one.